Flip it, dude. You watched it.
Harry, is it gonna be?
Let's go with the weird one. Actually, let's go with the monster first, because I feel like that's the. I feel like that's like almost like the baseline.
Hey, we're gonna have to speak up for this no one can hear us.
All right. Doing energy drink reviews.
It's something we've been looking forward to for a few weeks. Trying out. Just came up with the idea. It sounded like fun. Be a nice pre-workout drinks to have.
We have like multiple energy drinks that we want to review. So this will be like probably a 3 or 4 or 5 part series.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty.
We're gonna start with these ones because there's 2 that I know that I've never had. One that I feel like everyone's had. It's a White Monster, and it's the OG. You've never had a White Monster? This is the baseline. This is like, I'm not gonna give anything a 10 out of 10, but this is probably gonna be the closest to a 10 out of 10.
This is the only, like, I'm not sure about this one whether I've had it or not. I know I've had a rain, just not this flavor, and I definitely have never had this.
All right, let's get to it. We're rating it on 3 categories. Caffeine, we're not less rating it, and we're just going to talk about the amount of caffeine in it.
Yeah.
Number 2 is ingredients, and number 3 is taste.
So, I want to put out a warning before we actually try them. And, like, most of the stuff says, like, you know, not to consume if you're pregnant, nursing, what are the other things? Like if you have any kind of a heart condition. I also wanted to add in there. I do. Let's just watch the ice melting. It's fine. I also want to add in, like, if you have like bad anxiety or like bad depression, that you probably shouldn't really be drinking or relying on these too heavily too. It's because, one, if you have anxiety, it's gonna make your anxiety way worse. And if you have depression and you come down from your caffeine high, it's gonna be even worse too. Does that really displace this that much?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
All right, cheers.
Cheers. That's really good. It is really good.
Yeah, I told you. This is the baseline. Oh my gosh.
So up until like 3 or 4 months ago, I wasn't that much of an energy drink guy. I mean, when I started working at Blue Man doing professional moving, I started to drink them a little bit more. But I still don't try to have it too often. I can see why people are addicted to the Monster.
It's too good. It's got 10 calories. It's got basically nothing in it.
And most energy drinks do. Most energy drinks aren't going to have like a, I mean,
like,
obviously you have your normal Monsters at like 40 something.
Yeah, basically. Sugar. I mean, this one's got 10 calories and this one has, so they all have 10 calories. So you're not getting calories. 370 milligrams of sodium. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
that's actually really solid for sure. I like the amount of sodium that it has in it. The more sodium, the better. It's got 140 milligrams of caffeine per can. It's going to give you a little buzz, but nothing crazy. To put that in perspective, this has 300, so this is more than double. And this has 200, so this is like somewhere in the middle. So the Reign is definitely the beefiest one. But yeah, flavor, I give it a 9 out of 10 on flavor. The only reason I'm not giving it a 10 is because if I have something better, I want somewhere that the score can go. Does that make sense?
Yeah, as far as flavor goes, I'd probably give it an 8 or a 9 too. I've had some better energy drinks, but that's pretty freaking good.
It's good. And it's not even like there's multiple ones of those, like Zero Ultra.
Yeah,
I feel like the Zero Ultras are the best ones.
I saw like the purple one.
The blue is underrated. It's for sure second best, I think.
As far as ingredients go for this, you have 6 grams total carbs, and then with erythritol it brings it down to 4 net. It's also got inositol in here, which is another artificial sugar, so it might actually be less than 4 net carbs. As far as pre-workout goes, if you're actually using this to exercise, which something else I recommend if you're not exercising, it's really not the best idea for you to be having energy drinks, just because it really sets your brain and your body up for like a false pretense of giving you this artificial fake energy and then not doing anything with it. It's just not good for you.
What would you give it ingredients wise? Keep in mind this is energy drinks.
I know,
so
it's not. It's honestly really not that bad.
I know.
Like my biggest.
I'd give it a 7.5 as far as energy drinks go. On
Ace K, and sucralose. If we're using this as a base, then I'll give it like a 6.5.
So 6.5 for you.
Yeah.
Whoops. David Cooper, 6.5.
So it does
caffeine 140.
Does have L-carnitine in it, which is kind of like a muscle preserver. It like keeps you from breaking down muscle as intensely. So if you're having this during a workout, during exercise, like it's going to, but it's going to help slow the loss of a little bit of a catabolism happening from exercise.
I definitely think the ingredients aren't bad.
No.
And I think the only way that they're going to get significantly better is if you have a company that's like incredibly ingredients conscious, and they specifically are doing it for the ingredients.
Yeah.
140 milligrams of caffeine. That's the lowest of the three of these. But honestly, I would prefer 140. I might prefer 200 over 140, but 300 is too much for me.
I do like, and this is something I never noticed before, I like the fact that this has as much sodium as it does in it.
I didn't notice that either. I had no idea.
Because, I mean, that's going to allow
That's
more,
like double the other ones.
It's going to allow
Almost.
more water to draw to your muscle, and it's going to get you like a little bit of a beer pump, more vasodilation. Like, it's just like,
Plus, it's not as dehydrating as some people think it would be.
yeah, no, it takes a pretty significant amount of caffeine to actually become dehydrated from caffeine.
That's good.
It is good. I'm actually kind of upset how good it is.
It's just good. The White Monster is just, it's the baseline. That's why we did it first. Want to go rain next?
Yeah, let's go with the rain.
This guy likes you.
Yeah, but he does.
All right, we're going with the rain next. 3 carbs, 220 milligrams of sodium. That's 10% for normal people. Probably like 5% for me. 10 calories, 300 milligrams of caffeine. Ooh.
A little bit of B vitamins and some other vitamins in there.
It's orangey. It's like kind of smells like Crush.
Wow, it does.
It smells like a
It
powerful
smells like
Crush.
it does smell like a creamsicle. Like
Yeah, it does. Wait, is it creamsicle?
Yeah, orange.
Oh, it is creamsicle.
Yeah, it's orange dreamsicle, but
Copyright.
shut down. Yeah,
Very bubbly.
got some BCAAs in here, which again, if you're not really exercising, you don't really need those. And BCAAs are actually very insulin spiking, so
They're overrated for sure.
yeah. I mean, again,
It's almost like an advertising ploy.
yeah.
And yeah.
There's no reason to have something that has BCAAs in it if you're not like exercising. It's just and especially more than like really once a day. You're just spiking your insulin for no reason. It's just not necessary. Is that and coenzyme Q10. That's touted as being like good for your heart, which it is in like small amounts. But there are so many other better things that are good for your health.
I feel like this would probably be the closest energy drink to like a pre-workout, in my opinion, just because of some of the ingredients coupled with the amount of caffeine that's in it would definitely be a little bit close to it.
Wait till we get to C4.
Oh well, C4 is a pre-workout. It's literally a pre-workout brand. Cheers.
It almost smells better than it tastes. I was actually like I was expecting more of an intense like orange like creamsicle flavor, and
It's like take like an orange creamsicle, cut it in half, and melt it in like a can of Sprite.
Yeah,
That's what it tastes like.
That's
It's
very
it's,
accurate.
it's just like pop. It's like orange creamsicle pop is what it
Yeah.
tastes like.
Yeah,
It's
just you smell it and it hits your nose and you're like, oh man, I'm gonna be drinking like orange creamsicle and then like,
it's good. It's not bad for sure. It's good. It's not White Monster.
I was really hoping I'd like this one more than the Monster, and I don't. I actually have to rate this one lower than the Monster.
Yeah, for sure.
At least for taste.
What about ingredients?
Ingredients, I will rate it higher. Not too much higher,
I agree with
but
it.
I will put it higher just for the fact that as at least for our purposes and what we use it for, it is more applicable. Like
Yeah, it's definitely more of like I said, a pre-workout. So if you're going for something that's going to give you that like absolute spike before you work out, I think a Reign would be great. But if you're just going for an energy drink just for the sake of having either the flavor or a little bit of energy to get you through the day, I think as far as this versus the Monster goes, the Monster takes the cake on that one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down. For me, flavor-wise, I give it a 6.5. I give it a 6.5 flavor-wise.
This has 200. I wasn't even paying attention to this. This has 250% of your daily vitamin B12.
B12, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't see what the Monster had.
I don't know.
This one has 100%. Like that's. Again, that doesn't really matter because it's more than
Vitamin B12, 490%.
I don't feel like that's necessary.